Hey Rebel Buddies! So, it's time for another Stuff I Like video! Woo! PBS has this new TV show out right now called Mr. Selfridge, and I'm totally hooked on it. It's another one of those period pieces where all of the costumes and the set and the way they talk is just so unlike today's society, and I love stuff like that because I feel like period pieces take so much more effort. It's based on a true story of the department store Selfridges, and it basically just shows how Harry Selfridge, our main character, goes through life and goes through the creation of the store. If you're a fan of Downton Abbey or any sort of Jane Austen or Charles Dickens miniseries that you might see, Mr. Selfridge is definitely one to check out. If you are younger and if you decide to check out Mr. Selfridge, just be forewarned, there's some naughtiness that happens in there that I do not approve of. So my favorite movie during the month of April was definitely The Help, but it's another one of those period pieces that I enjoy so much, and it's set around the time of Martin Luther King, and we have these African-American characters who are working inside of some white homes as housemaids and babysitters, I guess. They're called The Help, so they basically do everything that the wives should do while these wives are hosting, you know, fancy dinner parties and just being totally rude and snobbish, and it really takes a close look at the racism that is still occurring in the South during this time, and all of the segregation laws that they have, the Jim Crow laws. We have this girl who is raised in this white society, and she realizes, you know what, the way that we're treating these people is not okay. So she collaborates with them to write a story, like the inside scoop of what is actually happening inside of these homes. This story was extremely compelling. I really enjoyed it, and I wouldn't be surprised if this movie is actually in my top 10. It was very, very good. So my favorite YouTuber for the month of April was Jesse the Reader. Jesse is, I think, 21, correct me if I'm wrong on that, but he's a couple years younger than I am, and he actually lives in the same state as I do, which, you know, when you find out that a but yeah, when you find out that a YouTuber lives in the same state as you, and it's not a state that all of the YouTubers live in, like, you know, California. I was about to say LA. The state of LA. But so many YouTubers come from over in California and LA that when you find somebody who's actually from Missouri, it's just like, oh, yeah, you feel this automatic, like, bond and connection. And he does some really excellent book reviews over YA literature, which is my all-time favorite genre of literature. So I really enjoy his book reviews and his quirky sense of humor and all the random facial expressions that he makes. Holy cow, I am addicted to Pinterest. Like, I got on Pinterest to try to find some craft ideas, and I suddenly planned my whole wedding. No, I'm not married. Well, obviously, but I'm definitely not engaged, but I am hooked on Pinterest. It is an awesome website. I also have been reading Jefferson Bethke's wife's blog, so if you've ever seen any of those Jeff Bethke videos, like Why I Hate Religion but Love Jesus, his new wife is actually blogging, and her blogs are so cool. She's a couple years older than I am, and she's so real in the way that she writes, and it's so God-centered, and it's really inspiring because I definitely feel like I can relate to her. You know, she openly talks about the times where she just has a meltdown, you know, or where she's in the emergency room and she's not wearing makeup and she's still in her PJs and her contacts aren't in, you know, and it's just like, it's so real and funny and relatable, and I definitely feel encouraged spiritually. I've been into duct tape lately. I made this duct tape bow. MacBarbie07, she actually posted a video, I think a couple months ago, about these like water bottle flower chandelier looking things. I'll put the link for that video in the description. It's something that you definitely have to see for yourself. Like, I can't even begin to describe it, but it's really cool because it's made out of recycled materials and spray paint, and it's just a really fun, creative addition to any sort of room. I really like stuff that I get in my glam bags. Yes, I'm still getting glam bags and I'm still adoring them. I got these NYX eyeshadow pigments and they're gold. And what I like to do, I got this fancy pinkish eyeshadow here, and I like to put the gold all over my eyelid, and then I take the pink and I put that on the outer corners. Then I take this gold coppery color and I put that underneath of my eyelids. I got new glasses! Woo! Which is super exciting because I've had my old glasses, which were these, for about 5 years. You probably can't tell this on camera, but they're normally black, but I accidentally wore them in the shower one day, and they turned white. And so the black part is nail polish, and some of the little crystals on the sides went missing, and these glasses, they have definitely seen better days. So I finally was like, you know what, I'm just gonna go ahead and spend the money and get better glasses. These are my new glasses, but they're black, and then on the inside they have this brownish color, and then on the sides there's this kind of like tortoiseshell pattern. So I like them a lot because they're still very similar to the other ones, which I liked a ton, but I feel like these are more grown up. So, you know, instead of looking like I'm 16, maybe I look like I'm 17 now. Fun fact, I'm not 16 or 17 or anywhere near that age. I read the Lost Heroes series, or what has been written of the Lost Heroes series by Rick Riordan. This is the Roman mythology series that kind of piggybacks off of the Greek mythology series that he wrote, the Percy Jackson series, and I definitely preferred the Roman mythology series. I am going to have a book review on them eventually, so definitely subscribe or stay tuned for that, because I'm pretty stoked for it. My favorite random favorites? That was redundant. My random favorites? Okay, random favorites for this month. I talk about nature, I think, on all of my random favorites. No, the first one I talked about rice and socks. But anyway, I feel really hippie-ish whenever I talk about my random favorites, but lately I really like seeing the leaves grow on the trees. Because our winter has been so crazy where I live, we get, you know, a couple feet of snow, and then the next day it's in the 70s, and then it's just like the next day it's raining, and the next day we have tornadoes, and then we get snow flurries again. Like, we had snow flurries earlier this week, and next week it's supposed to be 70, and we've had so much rain. After living in Missouri my entire life, you'd think I'd get used to this weather, and that is definitely not the case. Actually being able to see as the leaves grow on the trees and just seeing their progression and just, you know, being able to have that feeling like, oh yes, spring is almost here, spring is almost here. It is just, well, I mean, spring is here, technically, because I had spring bake a couple weeks ago. But yeah, I think I said spring bake. Anyway, but yeah, I like seeing the leaves grow and just knowing that hopefully the weather will stop raining and snowing, and, you know, that I'll be able to actually wear a t-shirt outside and not be freezing cold. But yeah, leaves on trees, they are nice. I'm gonna go ahead and go because I've tried filming this ending at least 9 or 10 times, and each time it just gets more and more bizarre. So thank you all so much for watching, and I will see you all next week with a new video. Thanks, ciao!